Hello and greetings. So today I am bringing you the Thorogood 8-inch plain toe, and it's also a soft toe. So the reason I went with the plain toe here is it's a little, I don't want to use the word dressy, but it's a little bit better in terms of casual wear than a mock toe. A mock toe, to me, again, we're totally free to disagree on this, but a mock toe is a little bit too casual and it's hard to get kind of smart casual with a mock, but it's much easier with a plain toe. Okay, so let's start with that. Let me show you here the box. I'll show you the label. Forgive me, I'm holding the phone with my right hand and trying to make the video with my left hand. So here you can see 814 4364, and this is made in Wisconsin, I believe. It's union made of U.S. and globally sourced materials. That's what it says. So it's kind of they're letting you know it's not all USA entirely made. So I'll give you a front-on shot of the plain toe and how it differs from the mock toe. So you can see here, it's much easier to dress up smart casual with jeans with this as opposed to a mock toe. So I wanted to, what differentiates this video from others is I want to give you a close-up, not just show you the boot from a distance, but close-up. So here we go. So you can see the welt. Okay, you can get an idea here. So the gusseted tongue ends at the first speed lace. So let's get out a rule so you can get an idea of how much waterproofing that would offer. The first speed lace is at about 6.5 inches, right? So you could ford. Again, it doesn't mean you can stand in it for hours, but you could go through some water that's 6.5 inches deep, maybe 6 inches, and at least it would offer some temporary water resistance, where, I mean, is the water would not flood the chamber of the boot because it's gusseted, okay? So let's move up, continuing along. You can see some of the innards here. It does have a rolled and padded tongue. Okay, I'll show you the inside of the tongue, like now Red Wing has the birthday, the month and date of manufacture, which is kind of like the birthday here. Unless it's in code, and it probably is, I don't know, maybe that 4624, because I'm recording this in October 1st of 2025. So maybe that 4624 is a code indicating maybe it's April 6th of 24. I don't know. Maybe it's 2024 and the 46 is kind of inside baseball. I really don't know. But there's the tag. So let's also talk about, because you can see here some ASTM. So this boot is the 8-inch tobacco plain toe. So what differentiates this from technicals, right, is this is a soft toe boot. It's not a steel toe, and this is more heritage. So how heritage differs from technical is a technical is basically really used for a workplace environment, because technical means it meets a whole bunch of technical specifications, right? So a work boot, number one, is generally steel toe in case something falls on your foot. The ASTM refers to, like, if you were to step on a live wire and maybe the sole is properly insulated so that the electricity doesn't travel up into your foot and electrocutes you, and so forth and so on. Again, I'm not schooled on all these different regs, but that's generally what differentiates a technical versus a heritage. And again, this is heritage. I would not really wear this into a workplace that requires technicals, okay? Even though it did list those two ASTMs, it's still really not a true workplace boot. To me, again, if you want to wear it into the workplace, it's totally fine. If your employer is good with it, that's fine. I'm using this just for casual wear. Okay, and I will show you here. Let's continue along. Okay, we have the U.S. flag there. We have the triple white stitching, and I'll bring in a Red Wing Iron Ranger for contrast. to show. So this pattern is five standard laces, followed by 3 speed laces, and followed by another standard lace. Okay, beautiful. I think these things are just so really good looking. You have your, and again, it's perfect size. It's not one of those stupidly gigantic loops to get, you know, a finger loop to pull your boot on. It's very, very subdued and common sense. I don't see a lot of blemish. I don't see any blemishes, actually. Here's some little bit of discoloration, but I can live with that. We'll get down into the stitching again. And I really like that contrast of the camel colored lace and white lace. That looks good. And then you have a dark welt. So right two, you have dark, camel, white, dark. Then you have offset by the browns. So that color combination is really, really sharp. Okay, and it's the same. I'll show you the other boot. Just for giggles, we'll cover the other boot. Okay. You can see a little wrinkling, but I'm okay with that. Again, this is not a dress cordovan for $550. This is just a kickabout, and I'll explain this in a minute what that's for. Have a little discoloration here, like a little scratch. I can live with it. You have a little bit of something going on here, a little divot. I can live with it. Again, a little bit of scratch. Not a problem, because these are going to be just kicks, casual kicks. Again, it's not like a patent leather shoe I'm wearing to a wedding, right? Just really gorgeous looking boot. Look at that. Man, is that sharp. Here we have some branding. Nice. The bottoms have the zigzag pattern. Slip resistant, oil resistant. Maybe that's some of the ASTM ratings. I don't know. This is the Max Wear wedge. Okay. So that's about it. And I did give you some, let me give you some close-ups of the eyelets and the speed laces. So you can see the gap there. Okay, I'll do the other side. And these are right out of the box too. That's why these, I'm presenting them to you as if they truly come right out of the box. They're unlaced. So I will bring in an Iron Ranger so you can get a comparison here. So this is used, I've had these for about 2 years, so they have some light wear. That's why the laces there's dust. Even though I've brushed them out, they have some dust from sand and stuff on them. So let me give you so this is a 6-inch Iron Ranger compared to the Thorogood 8-inch. You can see the height difference there. And I'll put and this is one thing I really don't particularly like about the Iron Rangers is you have a black, white, black thread pattern. I would have preferred either all black or all white, and the white offers good contrast if you really want to show the boot off. What's really sharp is white stitching all over like this Thorogood. That offers some really good contrast. But again, for those who don't like it, you know, I think they should really offer these honestly in all black stitch or all brown stitch to match the leather, and then another model with the white, right? You know, you want to expand your pool of customers, not limit them. So there's a company, I think it's one of the Indonesian companies, where you can actually specify your thread color, and that is totally cool, where they allow that degree of customization. But I wanted to show you here, I'll pull it out of scale just so you can see. Where's my rule? Okay, so you can see here, it really is about 2 inches, right? So the difference is just about 2 inches, right? So when they say 6 and 8, it really is pretty accurate. As you can see on the rule, it's a 2-inch difference, so it's pretty accurate. So let's talk. I have a note card here. Let me cover some of the things in the note card. So we covered this triple stitch white versus the alternating color. So here I have a note about width. So I'm going to bring the Iron Ranger out of the view. So I ordered the D. I ordered a 10D. And it was crazy tight here in this toe area. And I had to send it back because it was so tight, there was no way that those were going to break in. It was just impossibly narrow. So here's the thing. I wear a 9 wide. And I thought I'd go, I think 9 wide were sold out. So I said, you know what, to compensate for a 9 wide, I'm going to go with a 10D. And that normally works because if you go with a little longer boot in a D, it kind of compensates. Well, this one didn't. The 10D was still too, like, crazy narrow. And what's weird is that Thorogood, their wide is actually a 2E. It skips E. It goes to 2E. And their extra wide goes to 4E. So they skip 1 and 3 at 3E. So again, it's a D, and then wide is 2E, and extra wide is 4E. So you're jumping up 2 actual widths when you go with a wide. So that's what this is. This is a 10 wide, and it fits perfectly. So my point is, sorry to stray there a little bit, going from a 10D to a 10E, a 10 wide is actually going from a 10D to a 10 double E, which is 2 widths. And it's kind of complicated, but anyways, that's how it is. So this 10, by going to a 10, I'm gaining a thumb here in the toe. Like right here, I have a thumb's width of extra room, and that's no problem. My advice to you would be always, if you're going to err between slightly small and slightly large, you want to go slightly large because you could always fill that room with either a gel pad, like a Dr. Scholl's or whatever, a gel pad, that'll take up some room, and even an extra pair of socks. So if you put on 2 pairs of socks, you can snug up your fit. But if you incorrectly or mistakenly order a boot that's slightly small, you can't make up for that. There's nothing you can do to make up for it except, you know, just gobbing it in oil and trying to stretch it, which is nonsensical. It's ridiculous. Just err a little bit to the large size. Okay. So the reason I put this on here is I'm retired U.S. Army, and I've always liked the look of blousing pants on a boot. So you can tell this is a beautiful tobacco boot. And what I'm going to do, the way I'm going to wear this is with not tight, but skinny jeans, or just a normal fit jean. I'm going to have the denim come down here, and then I'm going to blouse the material under this so that all this is going to be exposed, right? It's going to be a blouse look, like in the old days, you know, the Army, your BDUs are now the OCPs. You blouse that and you show all this material. Or if you have skinny jeans and you want to roll them up, I would suggest you want to show as much boot as possible without getting freakish. And here's what I mean. You would roll it up to about here. Zappos and even some other sites, they're really crazy with the way they display boots. Like people wear them so you actually see sock. Okay, so you can see the entire boot, some sock, and then the pant leg ends here rolled up. And to me, that just looks silly. That looks ridiculous. But again, it's subjective, right? What I think and what you think could be 2 different things, and it doesn't mean you're wrong. I just personally find that look stupid when you can see the entire boot and then some sock. That's fashionable for a low, like a shoe, a real shoe, not a boot. You can wear a shoe, show a little bit of sock, and then the pant leg, right? That looks pretty good, but not with a tall boot. So again, I'm just showing you this here because whether you blouse it with a blousing band or just roll it up with a cuff, this is about how much boot, ideally, you should expose. Okay, that's about it. I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions, please reach out. I will try to. Oh, let me say this. I haven't worn them yet. So these are right out of the boot. I did try them on for a fit. They fit okay. They're going to be usable, but I haven't worn them. Many reviews I've seen is that there is no break-in like required with a Red Wing Iron Ranger. My Red Wings did require a little break-in, but nowhere near what's claimed on the internet. You'll see like it takes 6 months to break in an Iron Ranger. That's ridiculous. It doesn't take that long. But these it's reported that these require no break-in at all. So we'll see, and I will possibly follow up in a year or so with another video letting you know exactly what went on with the break-in period. Okay, again, if you have any questions, I welcome your questions and comments, and I wish you well. Thank you for watching.